A lot of people start a business to create more freedom, more time, more flexibility, and more money. But instead, they end up overworked, underpaid, and also overwhelmed. So how do you actually become the boss of your business instead of just feeling like it runs you? Today's guest has answers. That's all ahead on Money and a Good Life. My name's Stephanie Coombs and I'm here with my co-host, mate, and the money expert, Ryan Watson. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Steph. Great to be with Sydney side today.
Sydney side, I know this is so unusual.
We've taken it on the road.
This is a big step for us. And this is a good topic for you because I feel like you have a lot to say about running a business as a man who runs a business.
I generally have a lot to say. Yeah, we'll go with that.
We have another expert, of course, joining us. We're joined with Betsy Westcott. She's a financial wellness coach, a keynote speaker, and a pretty familiar face in the media. Betsy, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
People do come to you to talk about finances. So what is your background? How did you get into this gig?
I fell into finance, but I'm so happy that I did because I love helping people understand and make the most out of their money. So I feel like I'm in the right place. Came up through the bank branches and then discovered the world of private banking, just quietly. Disneyland of banking, so much fun.
Disneyland of banking still sounds like, to be clear, a shit Disneyland.
I'm really. What made it so much fun?
I think you're advising some of the wealthiest individuals and families, and you really get to become this trusted advisor who's, central to so many of their decisions. And that's fun. I love helping people. I love interesting things. I like solving problems. So for me, it was Disneyland. But, to be fair, probably I need to...
Yeah, it's not like a haunted house roller coaster, though, is it?
Not.
So after your, banking...
Oh, yeah. So that's when I got qualified as a financial advisor. Then I thought I was going to change the world with fintech and started a brand new bank and then started creating financial wellness apps. But I actually realized with fintech, you actually don't talk to many people. You're on the tools all the time. So I started a side hustle as a financial coach. I was really fascinated around how our psychology and mindset actually drives our financial outcomes. So got some qualifications in that area. It just kind of grew and exploded and I realized I loved it. So I packed up the corporate life and the salary that went with it and started my own business, and here I am.
And starting your own business, that's obviously a topic that we're interested in today because we talk a lot on this podcast about if you want to change your financial situation, there are a few levers. It isn't all just about spend less.
Primary lever is increase your income
That's
and
it.
also your autonomy. That's what you want to be self-employed or the boss for.
Yeah, just a way to sort of change and improve your life, right? But I think that it is important to note that the version in your head of running a business and the reality of running a business, they can be quite different, can't they?
They can. Yeah, absolutely.
So is that your experience, Betsy, when you were sort of running a business for the first time and stepping away from the corporate world?
Yes, I was blessed in that I had been in startups, so they're very much like starting a brand new business. So it wasn't quite the shock that it could have been. Also, I ran my business in conjunction with my corporate job for quite a while. I'm a naturally conservative gal, and I really wanted to test and learn and just get some proof that actually people wanted to work with me and maybe buy what I was selling. So that really helped me establish, what was it going to take? What was the cash flow going to look like? What were the expenses going to look like? And just gave me a realistic expectation of what that might be.
Was that your experience as well? Did you sort of know what you're going into, Ryan? Or?
Oh, yeah, somewhat. When I started Tribeca, I was 30 years old, so it was 15 years ago, and had a few years' experience in advice. I wanted things to change. I wanted how we define financial advice to change and didn't have a lot to lose.
I'm one of those people that has a lot of jobs on the side, a lot of different things going on.
What are you up to, about 16 or 18?
Yes. And I'm looking for more. If anyone's got any leads, send them my way. I might not be able to do it, but that's freelancer life.
That is
freelancing. If you're a freelancer life,
yes.
you're already in a sense that at any point it's all going to go. Some of the more interesting advice that I've been given when I've been exploring this is that you don't necessarily give up your day job and sometimes test it on the side. And that's obviously what you were doing for a while, Betsy. Do you think that that's generally good advice for people?
If you're going to start a business, first you want to make sure you're passionate about what it is that you're wanting to get into. You're not just going into it for the money. It's something you genuinely love doing. You will probably have challenging times and you need to have something that's really going to motivate you to keep you going and see you through that. If you can get some proof that people want to engage with whatever it is, the service that you're offering or the product that you're selling, and make sure that there's actually a market there and that you might be able to make some actual money out of it. Because if you're not making money, you're running a passion project. So make sure there's that proof, that passion, and then make a plan to give it a go, and make sure that you are giving yourself oxygen to start this business. And by oxygen, I mean have financial savings in place to just give you the breathing rooms to build it well, rather than not having any cash and having to make those really less than desirable decisions, because that's going to create stress and it's probably going to stuff up the game plan.
Do you remember the moment, Betsy, when you're like, this is working?
I didn't actually intend to start a business when I was doing it. It was literally like, I really miss helping people with money. Maybe I'll just start a coaching business and I'll run a few boot camps and see how it goes. And then people started signing up and really enjoying it.
You'd do it for free?
Yeah, I'd honestly do it for free. And I resisted stepping into it full time for a long time because I didn't want the need for it to fund my lifestyle to take that joy away. And I was actually really worried about that.
Okay.
But circumstances evolved that I had an opportunity in between some jobs to have a crack at it for a while. And I realized, actually, no, it didn't take my joy away. It amplified it. So that was really good. So that's why I'm so big on that. Like, you've got to have some passion for it, because it is tough. It's sometimes lonely as well. You know, you don't have the whole team around you and people to chat to. So you've really got to have that passion.
Well, I feel like you sort of touched on this a little bit already, but just to go a little bit deeper into that, how do you know if you've got an idea that is worth turning into a business?
Test and learn. Is there a way that you can get people trying what it is that you're selling, that service, that product? That's going to give you the insight around, do I just love this and it's a me thing, or is this a market thing? Is there people willing to pay money for it? So finding a low risk way to do that is really good. So whether that's doing it on the side or having a small sample or trying to build a wait list, a community, see if people sign up, that's going to give you the feedback that there's actually some demand for this.
What is a bad reason for jumping into a new business, do you think?
I think if you're, one, trying to escape a bad job, it's probably not a good reason to start a business, because not only are you leaving that job, but then you're trying to take on about a million other roles. You become the marketer, you become the salesperson, the operations person, the risk and compliance.
You learn how to set up the internet, the office space, everything else, the printer.
Cook, the cleaner.
Yeah.
And that is a lot to contend with, and not a great reason to start a new business. The passion is going to fizzle when that happens. Second reason would be if you're copying someone else's success. Someone did something on the outside, it looks amazing. They're having all this success. They're not working very much. I want that too. You have no idea, what were the resources that they had, what networks were involved, and to replicate that can be really challenging, particularly, again, if it's not something that you know or you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And then the one that I think a lot of people fall into is, I want to control my time and I don't want to work too hard, so I'm going to start a business, the whole 4-hour work week philosophy.
The 4-hour work week. That man sold a lie.
Yeah. He sold a lot of books though, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
I mean, like,
Did he
he's
sell a
doing
lot?
4
Or
hours.
was it self-fulfilling?
Yeah.
But I think, look, business that can give you a lot of agency over your time, it can give you a lot of freedom, but typically there's going to be a big upfront investment in building something that can really grow and scale before you get to enjoy that upside.
You almost generally go backwards before you go forwards, Betsy. So whether that's financial, time, or otherwise, even emotional investment.
Yeah.
I liken it to having a kid. It's a bit like with a baby, with a business. In the beginning, they are really dependent on you. They need lots of attention. They need to be fed new ideas, resources all the time. If you do that well in the beginning, at some point it grows up and it becomes a little bit more independent, and you do get that time back and you do get a lot of joy back. But highly dependent. Yes.
I like the idea of not copying someone else's business as well, because if you're on social media a lot, you will eventually come across someone who is selling the idea or the dream. All you have to do is set up this drop shipping company or whatever and just buy my resources. And I think that the idea of I fly business class everywhere and you can do this too. I think running your own business can be so rewarding, but that is just not how it is for most people.
Yeah. And I interestingly coach a lot of people with those personas, and I've looked under the hood and there's a lot of income coming in, but it's not always as it appears. So, a healthy dose of skepticism is a good thing.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think anyone who is very, very rich is necessarily going to be giving away their secrets.
And something I think is very relevant to what you and do for your clients, Ryan, is that these ideas of success, often we don't stop to think, what's our idea of success? And so we look for these external metrics like, oh, they're flying business class. Oh, they're driving a Mercedes. And those things are nice by all means. Like, I'm not hating on them, but is it what makes you feel joy? Is it what makes you feel like you've got purpose in your life? Quite often when you really drill down to it, it's not those things. And the importance of articulating them will absolutely set you free and have you enjoying a really rich life.
What are some of the biggest reasons you've seen that people end up overworked or underpaid or stressed if they're running their own business?
I think often they let their business run them and not the other way around. I genuinely was having this exact conversation with a friend recently. You go into business and that thing will take all your time, all your money and all your resources if you let it. So you've got to put boundaries on your business and have that really clear view of what does success look like? What am I actually striving for? What does good look like? And then a plan and systems to actually get you there. And most of us are we fall into it because we love it. We can see money coming through, but we're not really dialed into those numbers. And if you're not dialed into the numbers on your business, you are running a passion project, not a business. So one of the biggest shifts I can see is when people actually start treating their business like it's a business, get clear on what they want to achieve, have a plan to track it and actually systemize that success. Not only brings better financial success, but a lot more ease and grace in your business. You're not just like manically hustling and chasing every lead. You're strategic, you're systematic, and you're a lot more successful.
Do you see a lot of people, Betsy, that don't have a written plan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I like
It's an idea.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Yeah.
I don't want to sound ignorant, but okay, really?
I love
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's just remember, you're a financial planner. It's
True.
kind of what you do
But
for
there's a lot of plumbers with leaky taps. No offense to the plumbers listening out there.
No, all the time, because we love what we do. We're having some sort of success. We can feel the traction. It's so easy to get busy doing and just thinking, I just need to do more, so much more. Hustle, hustle, hustle. It is a recipe for burnout. For example, I worked with a lady recently. She's a sleep coach for babies. Okay. Endless market there.
Yeah,
just new ones every day coming through.
Babies and pets.
Yeah, that's it.
She was having a lot of success, but she was hustling and just, churning the wheels a lot. And she had a great business, great TikTok, social media engagement, all of that. And we mapped out like, okay, how much do you actually want to earn? What, based on the price of your services, how much do you need to sell? Where does that compare to now? And we also wanted to put in like breaks for her. She's got little kids. So we mapped out, how can she work a 40-week year, have 12 weeks off a year and hit those income targets? We mapped it out. She was like, holy guacamole, I can do that. And I was like, yeah, girlfriend.
So starting with the goal in mind, then building the strategy to the tactics.
Now, Betsy, you run a workshop called Money Boss, and there are 7 steps that you like to take people through and advise people to do. What are those steps?
Well, I really am just trying to help people get clear on the vision and then stop winging it with their business and actually be strategically successful. I follow a framework that I've developed called CLEAR. So it's actually only 5 steps.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I added, we can make up another 2.
a couple of
Yeah,
two.
okay. Yep, there we go.
There you go. 5 steps, Steph.
5 steps, writing that
Excellent.
down. Thank you. Yep.
The first part is clarify, what does success actually look like for you? And I'm really repeating myself, but most people skip this step.
Yeah.
They just get busy doing, or they adopt someone else's idea of success or what society says, and they just get into it. Second thing is liberate. So a lot of us have these beliefs around money, that these rules around money, and they're running how we show up, how we make decisions, what we give ourselves permission to have and to enjoy. Really trying to liberate people from those beliefs and mindset that keep them overworking, undercharging. First of all, create an awareness, because these things are largely formed in childhood, largely unconscious. But the stuff that's tripping you up, that's sabotaging your success, let's liberate you.
So things like fear of success, fear of failure, am I worthy?
Yeah.
Am I enough?
And then envision. So like actually map out the game plan. So we've got what we want. How are we actually going to get there? Align the way you run your business, you organize your money, the decisions you make to get you there. And then realize is around, let's track and measure and take that action to make sure we're making progress and realize it as your reality.
To remember, it's clarify, liberate, envision, align, realize. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really nicely well-rounded 5 steps, not 7, to sort of like bring your business into into the real world if you're trying to do it.
Yeah.
What steps do you find people get stuck on?
They skip step one. So that
Clarify.
What do I want? What does success look like for me? And then the align, actually systemizing their business, building the structures and the framework to make it successful.
Yeah.
They sort of get going. Money's kind of happening everywhere. It's flowing. Bills are kind of getting paid. So I think we're okay. I think I'm making money. And then they try to scale, and that's when the cracks show and the wheels come off. So lay those strong foundations, really align what you're doing to get you where you want to go. So often we're looking retrospectively like, oh yeah, we did really good back then, and then not sort of thinking about what's coming in, how's the pipeline looking, is there still demand for what we're doing.
One of the things that you talk a bit about is the link between money and mindset. How does the nervous system and our psychology sort of shape the way that we deal with money, and particularly in this sort of instance where we're dealing with new businesses?
If we want to make really great, sound money decisions, we need to have a regulated nervous system. We need to be calm and collected. When our nervous system has that calm and that regulation, we can access our prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking brain, the one that's responsible for language and planning and long-term thinking and that good quality decision making. When we're not regulated, we go into survival mode and we activate the limbic brain and the emotional brain.
Cortisol.
Yeah, the cortisol's flowing, our emotions are making the decisions, and because we're in that survival mode, and so that's when we, avoid our finances, we make impulsive decisions, we make reactive decisions. If we want to make the best decisions, the ones aligned with what we're trying to achieve that have the most long-term value, we really need to have that regulated nervous system and be able to notice when we're not in that and just hit pause.
So self-care for self-employed being really important. There's always time, right?
Yeah.
Just got to make it.
Yeah, that's really true. It's that happening to your day, running your business, not letting your day happen to you and your business run you. But then we've got that emotional side where those thoughts, feelings and beliefs that we have running in the background about money, which is largely subconscious, largely formed from very early age, then influences how we react and respond and make decisions around money. So am I worthy to charge this much, and so on and so forth. So having that awareness of what are those invisible rules and how might they be serving or sabotaging you.
There really is so much to think about, but it does make sense that if you are trying to do something like a business, which is a really life-altering thing, that you do set out the time to think about this stuff.
It really liberates you because you've addressed the numbers. You know that they're on track. So you can focus on being great with your clients, being really creative, and eliminate that noise and that ambient stress. And if it's something that you find yourself avoiding or not getting started on or overwhelmed by, assemble a team of people who can help you. Engage a financial coach, engage a financial advisor, engage an accountant, whomever has the skill set that you're missing but is going to get you moving. That progress over perfection is such a helpful mindset.
And not having to think you know it all.
Yeah.
Put your hand out for help. Sometimes, Betsy, where if you're the boss in inverted commas, you think you need to know all the answers, but you don't.
Absolutely. Look, Betsy, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. You've so generously shared a lot of your money boss tips. And if people want to get in touch with you or attend one of your workshops, how can they do that?
Can find me on LinkedIn at Betsy Westcott. That one's for you, Ryan. That's the only place you go.
Exactly. LinkedIn.
Instagram, I'm at Betsy Westcott. TikTok at Betsy Westcott. My website's betsywestcott.com. There's a theme here, really.
Yeah. This is branding.
Yeah.
Hashtag branding. Yeah.
And I've also got a coaching platform called The Inner Money Journey, which you can check out as well.
And if you've got something out of this episode, do make sure you follow Money and a Good Life. We'll see you soon.